Yo, what's going on, guys? Wildman here. You can call me Willie. Welcome back. Today I'm going to sit down and just talk a little bit about how to be a good leader. So let's kind of start with my background on this. First of all, we're playing Kill Confirmed on Village. If you want to watch the gameplay, feel free to tune me out, whatevs. This is my first kind of like practice into doing gun game in Modern Warfare 3. I decided that if I wanted to kind of keep this game interesting, I don't want to prestige anymore after the third one. I was like, screw it, let's do some gun game. So I think the game turned out well. Either way, you guys know what my gun game is, right? Kill somebody, primary has to be switched out with their gun. Maybe I'll link in the description my first gun game and you guys can go take a look. Or one of my recent ones. Either way, I kind of wanted to talk about how it is to be a good leader. What it takes to be a good leader and understand that you are going to have followers behind you that trust and understand that you can bring them to a positive spot and get a positive outcome out of whatever you're leading them to. And it doesn't even need to be something like building a house or building a car or robbing a bank. There's leaders in different ways. And just kind of some background about me. I have been a manager in different places and different jobs that I've had. When I was in college, I was a board member for some different organizations. So it kind of comes naturally for me to be a born leader. It's one of those things that I really strive to do. For instance, right now, I work at a technology company. And by the way, this freaking gun, PP90 with ACOG, retarded. It comes up a couple of times in this game. Either way. I knew going into this job that I was going to be starting fresh and I wasn't going to know everything. I wasn't going to be, a genius when it came to really anything. And whenever you kind of start fresh in a situation, maybe it's a new grade, a new school, a brand new job. Maybe it's just a new activity that you're doing, like a new sports team. A lot of times when you're starting fresh, when there's already a history of knowledge from other people there, that's the toughest part to become a good leader. And that brings me to my first point, I guess. What is this? This is like 3 minutes into the game. The first part is just to know your shit. Know your stuff, in and out. So, for example, let's say you work for a grocery store. Or better example, let's say you are a football player, right? You're going to be a leader on that team. If you want to be a leader for that sports team, you need to know all of the plays. You're probably going to need to know maybe the offensive and the defensive plays. You need to know the coaches' names. You need to know the other teams. You need to know your opponents. There's a lot of different things that come into that, and knowing that information is going to let the other people around you trust that when you give a response, when you know an answer, that they believe you're right, and that they will follow you when you say, no, this is truth. This is what I believe in. For example, Einstein taught hundreds of students to be good mathematicians. They wouldn't have followed him if they didn't truly believe that he knew what he was talking about. He would have been a good leader. Now, that kind of brings me to the next point, and that's a lot of times we're not going to know all of the answers. It's next to impossible to know everything, but it's nice to know that, for point 2, that you can think differently than other people. That guy scared the crap out of me, by the way. I literally almost crapped myself in this game. But think differently. Think about the situation in a different way. And a lot of times, if you're able to think outside of the scope of what other people think and what other people kind of perceive in a situation, you're going to have the upper hand. You're going to kind of take control of that situation and bring something different to the table. Now, a lot of the times, thinking differently can get you into a different realm, somewhere that you want to kind of avoid as well. Like, there has to be some boundaries all the time here. For example, thinking differently on a football team is, hey, very first play, let's do a Hail Mary against a team that is known for their passing game. That'd be a really bad idea, because, thinking differently and thinking dumb are two different things there. So the ability to be creative in difficult situations is one of those things that will really make you be a better leader. And that really comes from knowing your stuff. Going back to the original point. The next point is know when to listen. Now, a lot of times, if everybody's kind of going into a situation with a lot of this stuff is knowing the facts, being able to think creatively, you're going to need to know when to listen to the people following you, when to listen to other leaders in the group. That's really important. A lot of times, one thing I noticed when I was a manager at a different job, I thought totally differently than this other girl that was there. I was very kind of by the books, stern, this is what needed to get done. And she thought in this really unique way. And we butt heads a lot of the time. But what I think made me a good leader is my willingness to open up to other ideas and my willingness to listen to what she had to bring to the table and try to think creatively how to integrate that into a situation. You're not going to be able to answer everybody's questions, but if you can kind of take a step back and just listen to the people around you, then one, they're going to have a lot more respect for you. They know that you respect who they are and that you value their opinion. And that kind of brings me to one of my last points here. No, not my last point. Second to last point is trust your people. Trust them. Like, obviously, if you're on a football team, you need to trust the people around you. You need to have faith that they know what they're doing, especially if you're going to be a good leader. Know when to criticize them. Know when to give them constructive feedback and be like, dude, you screwed up. That was dumb. That was real dumb. But at the same time, give them something constructive to work on. That's something really to remember here is the more positive and specific you can give your feedback, you know that they're going to kind of carry that with them. If you're just negative and very broadly, it's going to be like, dude, well, that was kind of douchey. And I guess the last thing I want to end with is don't be afraid to be a follower. You need to start somewhere. Don't be afraid to follow the leader right now and build your way up. Because that's what it takes to be a good leader. Talk to you guys soon.